You have to pay them before they can select you at the party level. These guys, every 4 years, it is business for them. So if you want to run for any office, you first thing you have to buy them. You have to pay them huge amount of money. And whoever pays them more will become the candidate. Now that one, all of them go have to like shovel in between to become your elected officials. Just, you know what I mean? So these are the people that run political parties in Nigeria. Forget about those ones that parade themselves as national leaders, national working committee, this and that. The people that determines who is going to be your candidate, who are those who are going to be your candidate in their Sharia election, they are called delegates. Most of them are illiterates. Every 4 years, they will give them $200, $300. And then they can release drug dealers, money launderers, treasury looters, human traffickers, organ harvesters, Yahoo men and Yahoo women, ritualists, and name it, all kind of criminals. They are going to bag themselves in this fanciful Babariga suit and what have you. Then you have to choose them. Choose in between them. Who is going to be your governor? Who is going to be your rep, your senator? And at the end of the day, they all come and join together to become businessmen and women who will turn your life, like upside down. So he's right, but all those things now, all talk. Because what people are saying is, El Rufaya, be honest. If to say today you are a minister under Tifnumbu, in all honesty, would you be saying what you are saying right now? Won't you also be like with a wiki, calling everybody that there speaks about Tifnumbu, calling them enemy of Nigeria? Is that not what they always do? Like, what about you, Rotifmi Amechi? Or Atifku, or anybody at all? Right now, they want to rescue Nigeria from Tifnumbu, and they need you. Somebody said that they don't need Peter Obi per se. The reason why Peter Obi is relevant to these guys is because of you, the obedient. They know the truth. They know your strength. They know the people behind this, you obedient, disobedient, that home and abroad. They know, everyone knows. So what they want is for your Peter Obi to bring you to their coalition. Sure you get? So that they can have a genuine supporter base. People that are not going to ask them for 1,000 naira, 2,000 naira before they go out there to actually really stand for them. So it's not because they want your Peter Obi to come and be a candidate or whatever, you know. It's not because of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, the heat is on. And right now, every day you are going to be coming across these kind of gatherings. And this is the time you have to keep your eyes peeled like that. Like that. Because people are going to begin to have their emotions manipulated. Suddenly, some of you are going to begin to think these guys, these criminals, they are lovers of Nigeria, and therefore, whatever they have done, they have brought Nigeria to this state, including Kolu and his gang, will no longer matter to you anymore. You are about to enter that delirious, sort of a moment. Okay, but keep your eyes peeled on Mayegun's Diary Political. In the Temple of Truth, we endorse these gatherings because we want to see the entire system and the criminals benefiting from it. We want the entire system to blow up, and we know they would have to be the one to do it. Their greed, their personal ambitions, and what have you will soon clash. So on this platform, it is to remind all of you that when this whole card of House of Cards begins to fall apart, please don't try to save it. Because saving this contraption as it is currently arranged is like watering the flower that represents the weapon fashioned against you. This contraption needs to be broken down. And the only way it can happen is when those who kept it this poor, wretched, when they finally do something to what? To kick themselves out of that sort of influence, tear it apart. Don't help them put it together when that time comes. Tifnumbu and his gang are not going to leave power, of course, not the way they grabbed it, right? Or it may be us just giving them too much credit. So you get now, like we are just giving them too much credit to think indeed they may have such power when they actually don't. So I'm begging you. I know some of you are here because you are one Nigerianist, but one Nigeria is a weapon fashioned against all of us. Keeping it together under this arrangement is like keeping together the weapon fashioned against us. And remember, no weapon fashioned against us should prosper, because we know the truth. Knowing the truth is meant to set us free. Knowing the truth is meant to it's meant to give us freedom. No weapon fashioned against us should prosper, because we know the truth. We know the truth. And Nigeria is a weapon fashioned against us. If the criminals who brought us to this state and do not want to have a conversation around what they initially called the restructuring or the complete breakup of this contraption, then when they finally put fire in the house, please don't shout pano pano. Don't fetch water. Allow it to burn. And then afterward, after that, from the dust, or from the rumble of that, that bond, right? Then maybe new nations will emerge. It is for our good. It is for all of our own good. I hope you remember this. Every day now, this is 2025. After May 2025, their political drama will start in an effort of lying that they want to save the contraption. Nobody can save the contraption. They all are going to be fighting for their feeding bottle. It's been just 2 years. And out of power for some of them, it's like a fish out of water. Don't fetch water to put them back in. When that time comes, I will be here to remind you. And you will kind of thank me for it. Uncle Ben, thank you so much. You see, my people are becoming that generous again tonight. Same for older boy. Thank you so much, Baba. Saulu Shola Johnson, God bless you. Fad, thank you. Everyone else out there, thank you so much, all right, for the birthday wishes. Yesterday, when Sowore was in court because of what he said about the police IG, I'm coming to that one. Brethren, this issue of Sharia seems to be something very personal to some of these guys from northern Nigeria. And I don't see meme. You don't see meme? I have seen meme. I have seen a level of kind of disagreement, including insults upon insults between the Muslim Ronukus as well as the traditional Ronukus. The Yorubas, they are Yorubas, okay? The Ronukus are Yorubas, kind of like majority of them. So the Sultan of Sokoto has released a statement because in Nigeria, the Sultan of Sokoto is believed to be the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria by the settings, by the arrangement. So, and because they are the ones who kind of wrote the Nigeria Constitution, they ensured that for more than 40 times, Sharia was mentioned in Nigeria 1999 Constitution as amended now. All right? to the point that Nigeria is a country where they have two laws, one for the North and one for the rest of us in Nigeria. So the idea of pushing for Sharia in criminal and penal code of Yoruba land has been resisted. So in the last few weeks, they sponsored some Islamic fanatics in Yoruba land to begin to push the idea that Sharia must be established in Yoruba land, apart from the normal, customary and conventional courts for everybody. According to the proponent of this Sharia, what have you, in Oyo State, they wanted to start what they call the Sharia courts. And in Lagos State, they want a Sharia court. Across Yoruba land, they want Sharia court. But they have met a serious resistance from the majority of Yorubas, including Yoruba Muslims, who are saying that in Yoruba land, the Muslims, the Christians, and the other religions, they are coexisting under the current existing penal code as well as the criminal code of Nigeria. There is no religious court in any part of Yoruba land, not like the northern Nigeria, where they have Islamic courts called Sharia courts. They also have Islamic police called Isba police, in northern Nigeria. And, from the experience, a lot of us from the southern part of Nigeria have become, especially the southwest, we have seen the damages, of using the political Sharia in Nigeria, where the criminal politicians from northern part of Nigeria are allowed to loot. They are allowed to commit all kinds of crimes, including drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and what have you. But the poor people have become the victims. They have been those, their Sharia law has been somehow like forced on. We have seen them sentence people to death. They have sentenced their people to have their hands chopped off. They have sentenced people to public lashing. We have seen them threaten people. We have also seen their mob, in the name of Allah, burn somebody to death, beheaded the other, or stone somebody to death in the name of blasphemy. So all this kind of thing today, they have made us, especially in Yoruba land, to say no. And saying no is not because the Yorubas are not acceptance or they are intolerance of Islam. No. So this is what they have been pushing. So their Sultan of Sokoto released this statement. Let me read it in parts. Okay? They call it leave and let live, according to the Sultan of Sokoto. So in part, he said, give me a second. The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, under the leadership of his President General and the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Mohammed Sahad Abubakar, CFR, is particularly disturbed about the high state of intolerance and disregard for the rights of Muslims. You did hear him? He said, especially in the southern part of the country, the most recent of this is the development emanating from Ekiti State, where the effort of the Muslim community to set up an independent Sharia arbitration panel was met with unwarranted resistance and objections from both political and traditional quarters. This is coming barely a few weeks after the announcement on the inauguration of a Sharia panel in Oyo State, generated unnecessary anxiety, thereby leading to its indefinite postponement. The independent arbitration panel, which is a voluntary platform designed solely for the resolution of civil and marital disputes among consenting Muslims, was to fill the inexplicable vacuum created by the failure of the political elite in southwestern Nigeria to establish Sharia courts, as allowed by the Nigerian Constitution in southwestern states, despite the huge population of Muslims in the region. This is the Sultan of Sokoto inciting Islamic wahala in Yoruba land. Are you following? This and other cases, such as the denial of the right of female students to wear the hijab, despite a Supreme Court judgment, are nothing but calculated attempts to prevent Muslims in the region from practicing their faith. Are you hearing that now? People are saying that no to Sharia. The Sultan of Sokoto said it is to prevent the Muslims in the region from practicing their faith. Sultan of Sokoto is inciting Islamic war in Yoruba land. You follow. Said, meanwhile, arbitration and the Sharia Court of Appeal, just like the customary Court of Appeal, which all of them are provided for in the 1999 Constitution as amended of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, see Section 275, confirming the legality of both initiatives. The NSCIA strongly supports the establishment of independent Sharia arbitration panel in Ekiti and Oyo. Ogun killed this Sultan of Sokoto for the purpose so intended, especially where the Muslims in the states have been denied their constitutional right to a Sharia court of appeal in all the states of the southwestern Nigeria. The council cannot find any legal jurisdiction for the unnecessary alarm and unwarranted resistance. All the states in the north have Sharia courts, and some, in addition, have customary courts. The council calls on the governors and traditional authorities in the southern part of the country, particularly the southwest, to ensure that the constitutional rights of Muslims in their respective domains are preserved and protected. While others are allowed to live, Muslims should also be let live. You see now, this is what the Ronukus have been reacting to. Say now, Ogungo killed this Sultan of Sokoto. Alaye Sultan of Sokoto, what do you mean that the Muslims are not being allowed to practice their religion? Shebi Sharia is for Muslim, Abi. Customary court, did they tell you that customary court is a Christian court? Abi na Babalawo court. It is the local traditional court where the disputes about marriage, about land and what have you are settled, right? Do you see the problem now? Yorubas were not invited to the drafting of 1999 Constitution. Igbos were never invited. Southern Nigeria, Northern Nigeria were never invited. Fulanis selected the people that would write them in their midst of their elite to set up a constitution, and they forced it on the rest of us in 1999. Since then, it has been cut and join, cut and paste constitution, most plastered, edited, fake constitution in the history of Nigeria since 1999. Oh, the Yorubas did not vote for 1999 constitution. The Igbos did not vote for 1999 constitution. Those who put Sharia inside it, what they are practically saying is that according to the law of Nigeria, normal, you get, there must be Sharia court in the east. There must be Sharia court in the middle belt. There must be Sharia court all over Nigeria. Anywhere you see Muslim, there must be Sharia court for them. They cannot use the same court as others because they are Muslims. They have their own set rules, set laws, and therefore they must be allowed because under their freedom of religion. There is nothing that says that they have to set up the Babalawo's courts. There is nothing in that constitution that says that they must set up a Christian court. But there is something there that said that they must set up Sharia courts as well as customary courts in Nigeria. Now, those who drafted that nonsense constitution, right? They practically have the Northern Nigeria in mind because they know that they will ask for Sharia because they claim to be Muslims, Islamic in the north. The southern part of Nigeria is expected to have customary courts. Here you get now. But what the Sultan of Sokoto is saying is that according to your constitution, that Sharia court they didn't say specifically that it must be for the north. It says there must be Sharia court across Nigeria. That is where the Ronukus have now started saying, what do you call yourself, Mr. Sultan of Sokoto? The Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs. Benny, your Islamic affair or no Islamic affair, or whether you are the leader of, this one, they gave you the title of the leader of all Muslims in Nigeria. Baba, if I say, you the madu, you are the leader of the Muslims in northern Nigeria, Kokoja, what do you call that place? Sokoto, Katsina, northern Kaduna, part of Adamawa, part of Borno, then come back to part of Niger. Alaye, your Sultan or Sultan of Sokoto for Muslim, Munko, you know reach Yoruba land. Respect yourself. Respect yourself. But guess what? The Ronukus of southern Nigeria, who are Kasimu of Yoruba land, They are now telling anybody who care, everyone that cares to listen, that the Sultan of Sokoto is their leader. Let me tell you something. For all of us Muslims, Sultan of Sokoto is our leader. If he says that whatever he says, we obey. So since yesterday, Baba, it has been the fight between them. Again, if you have been active online, you probably would have seen a few of them. Every left, right, and center. If this one is not saying Abogun won't kill Sultan of Sokoto, Abaye Satan, if they burn your Satan, well,